Welcome everyone to this episode of Filmmaking with. My name is Dylan, and today I am with Dawson and Alec, who both worked on the Anaxagorean Heist Star Wars fan film. Alec is the director, and you know Dawson. He's our famous actor for Dalen Namarin in Shadow of the Conqueror, and he was also playing the green alien that I don't know his name.
Captain Anaxagoras.
Captain Anaxagore.
Dread
It's
Pirate
Greek,
Lord.
I believe.
It's Dread Pirate Lord Captain Anaxagoras.
I did put that in the script, didn't I?
Didn't he have a last name?
I don't think. Maybe Anaxagoras was his last name. Brad Anaxagoras was.
Well, isn't he named after his planet too?
The Anaxagorean heist. I don't know that made sense, but it sounded like a cool title. So it was a heist from Captain Anaxagoras.
Yes.
Okay. So the people here know Dawson, they know me, but they don't know much about you, Alex. So can you introduce yourself, talk a bit about yourself, what you're doing?
Yeah, totally. My journey in the art started. I was an actor. I remember when I was 10, I was watching the behind the scenes on the Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi Spider-Man series. I was watching Tobey Maguire talk about acting, and I think it was the first time it dawned on me that that was something that people actually did. Like, that was a real career. People got paid to do it. And from that moment on, I really wanted to act. Obviously, Star Wars was hugely inspirational for me. Lord of the Rings came just after that. So I had a slew of good stories that sort of fed me. And from that, I had a desire to create my own work. Because I'd seen other people do things. Watching the behind the scenes on Lord of the Rings is enough to inspire anyone to enter the film industry. And so a lot of the stuff that I've made is just from a desire to give myself an opportunity to act and to tell stories that compel me.
So how did you start in filmmaking?
Yeah, well, I was pretty inspired. I don't know if anyone knows Olin Rogers is a YouTuber, very much more popular YouTuber now. When I was a young teen, I was really inspired by a lot of his stuff because he just made things, put it out there, and you could see the progression of him getting better and better and better. And so I have a lot of really, really terrible films that I made when I was in high school that have not really seen the light of day, which is probably great. But from that, I was able to learn, do more. I ended up going to college, which is where I met Dawson. And we're both theater majors. And just the more and more I perform, the more I'd want to make more things to perform in.
What's your first film that you made?
Oh, goodness. I made one called Link and Naruto vs. Lord Voldemort.
Okay.
I played Naruto, which is shocking. My cousin and I loved Legend of Zelda, still do, of course. I have the Master Sword right here. And we were sort of in a fight with who would get to play Link, but Naruto felt like a good consolation prize. So that was probably our first joint endeavor, my first foray into the narrative art form. It was not good.
Sorry, I just saw a comment from Emilio again. Thanks, Emilio, for being here. He asks, "Hey Dawson, would you like to join us for the war for Diratia test tomorrow? Dylan and possibly me and a few other people." So
Yes, I would.
It just depends on your wife, right?
Yeah, I have to find out what she wants. Did I see Link and Naruto versus Voldemort? You showed me a couple of your films. I remembered Nerf guns and donuts, especially.
I might regret saying this, but it is searchable. If one were to type in Link and Naruto versus Lord Voldemort, it is on the YouTube.
Okay.
It's when I say bad, like, it's not that thing where it's like, oh, but this will be entertaining to watch. maybe if you knew us. I mean, it's painful. No one would enjoy it, but
Go
still,
viral, my friend.
yeah.
Okay.
That's the joy though of like making stuff, and you figure out what works and what doesn't, and it's humbling to make something and then think this is so good and realize, oh no, 10, 15 years later, am I going to have the same experience where I look back on this? My cousin who was in it with me is commenting right now. It's on his channel. I probably shouldn't have plugged it, but
it has a title where I'm expecting to find like the Grand Theft Auto mods where like that just bots make. It seems like.
Well,
but,
people,
no,
talk about Avengers.
Real. 12 years ago. 12
greatest
years
crossover
ago.
event in history.
This is the oldest video on YouTube.
I'm
watching it now.
I'm trying to find it.
Oh no!
Is it 10C80D?
10C85D, is it, Alex? I'm very sorry.
Okay, so here you go, guys. You wanted to see it, so oh, wrong thing.
Why'd you turn off comments, you coward?
I did not. Oh, them? Okay.
Alec turned off, or the Link and Naruto versus Lord Voldemort comments are turned off.
Oh, are they? Oh my.
Sorry, guys.
I'm the one who's sorry. I apologize to everyone who's about to view this. If you can even hear it.
Yeah, they should be able to hear it, but
yeah, the audio's shockingly quiet, but really
okay, yeah.
visual
You're speaking
so.
Right now?
That is me.
You're so small. No, that's Naruto.
So how far back was that?
Oh, I was 12, 13 maybe?
2008.
2008, yeah. So 12 years. Who is that supposed to be?
I'm Naruto in the orange, and then the janky wizard hat. That is Lord Voldemort.
Okay.
But we don't know he's Voldemort yet. He just said he's Tom Riddle, and apparently we haven't read the books, so. I've improved.
I don't know. I think you raw talent.
There's Link.
I've seen such raw strength only once before. Didn't frighten me then. I was a very dashing hero shot actually of Alex.
You know, sometimes you accidentally stumble upon genius, and
and he removes his shoes?
Yeah, I mean, it was their house too, so there were,
rules
to follow. Well, I'm glad the comment section is enjoying it.
I haven't been reading. What are some of the comments?
Well, my cousin who plays Link in this is currently horrified.
So I'll just take a quick moment to talk about my first film that is, I think, worse than this.
Really?
I think we were 10 when we made it, and we were only 2 guys, and so the obvious solution, because we're only 2 actors, is to use After Effects to duplicate yourself multiple times.
That's advanced stuff for 10-year-olds.
Yeah, but how good are you at After Effects when you're 10-year-old?
That's true.
So yeah. Zachary always tells me not to show it, but I think I'm going to have to do it. Maybe when we get to 100,000 subscribers, I'll do that as a celebration. Well, I'll show you my worst video ever.
Oh my word!
The lights are on.
Yeah. Well, now we come to the final battle. Careful consideration was given to choreography.
That's magical. So, Dawson, how close to this are you aiming to do for Shadow of the Conqueror?
Pretty much a direct replication, if at all possible.
Yeah, this was the culmination of all of our visual effects. Here, Link and Naruto fused together to become the ultimate entity.
Who played the ultimate entity?
That was me. I feel like that was kind of a con. I don't know how I convinced Alec to let me.
Who was playing Voldemort?
That would be Aaron, his brother, my other cousin.
But that shows you guys that if you want to do cinema, just do it, even if it's silly like this.
Oh,
it will get you somewhere one day.
Mm-hmm. I like to think with every project.
Diffusion.
I know it was really
like,
advanced for us. Trust me.
This is the seed of brilliance, though. I mean.
Well, it is rewarding to watch something like this and then to watch an Anaxagorean Heist and be like, hey, here you can actually see improvement, which is fun, and really all of us can ever.
If there wasn't improvement, I would be really sad for you.
Yeah, me too. I would hope someone would have.
Okay, so we have a few comments. So I regret this timeline. No. That's the thing with rookies. Stuff can be embarrassing and terrible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're still doing work like this after 10 years, yeah. So shall we have some to pull some of Shad's subs over here? So against Voldemort, against Snape, it's against Voldemort. It's just that I think their Voldemort costume was a bit janky.
Cutting edge for us, broke the budget.
Cutting edge. That's the word. Anaxagorean Heist is way better, obviously.
Good.
So, I think, though, to your credit, there are Naruto and Link versus Lord Voldemort is more competent than many adult filmmakers that can be found on the internet, like Neil Breen, for instance.
Oh, my word.
You tell a far more compelling story.
You know, we were telling Endgame years before Endgame, you know? So, no.
Okay, so before we jump into the movie, I want to know both of you guys, since we're gonna look at a Star Wars film again. I know that not everyone is a fan of Star Wars like we are, but what do you want? We love Star Wars. So, what is your top Star Wars film list? So both of you can answer. So what's how do you rank the Star Wars films?
Like by personal favorite or by what we think is objectively the best?
Let's say personal favorites.
Okay.
Because I don't even know how you could sort them by objectively better. So
I mean, it would still be our opinions about what's objectively better, but
well, Shada has a very good video about objective opinions.
Alec, do you want to go first?
Yeah. Okay, so favorite is definitely Return of the Jedi. I really am a sucker for conclusions, the third arc of a trilogy. But that's the one where I feel I'm the most genuinely moved by. There's something so special. And I will say that most of my experience is with the like second wave of special edition that I had on VHS. So I did have some of the CG stuff in there that really didn't need to be. But the new Endor music, the Victory Celebration theme, is just this magical part of my childhood, with Luke leaning on the tree and looking against the background and seeing Anakin, his father, redeemed. I'm the most genuinely moved. Closely followed is Empire Strikes Back, because it's Empire. And then I think I have to put Revenge of the Sith third, just because of what that meant to me growing up and how truly epic I thought it was. And then looking back and seeing some of really compelling threads of storytelling with Order 66, and there's so much good other media that has come from that era of Star Wars. So I think those are my top three.
Dawson, what's your top three?
I am. It might be identical to that, because I was considering all of that. Whether A New Hope or Revenge of the Sith is my third favorite, because I love watching Revenge of the Sith. A New Hope is, I think, a better film, and I do love watching A New Hope, but just for the sake of being different, we'll say it's Return of the Jedi, Empire, and A New Hope, and then Revenge of the Sith right after that, and then Clones, and then Menace, and that's all the Star Wars films.
Yeah, because you can just ignore the new trilogy. So yeah, exactly, Emilio. Just shun the Disney trilogy, and all will be fine.
All will be well. All will be well.
Arqua's personal favorite is Episode 1. The only problem is that it's without Dawson. So.
Oh gosh.
I respect that. I really like Episode 1.
I also do. My order, I think, would be Jedi first, Return of the Jedi first, then Revenge of the Sith, then Empire, then Episode 1, then New Hope, then Clone Wars. Again, let's just ignore the new trilogy. Well, okay, one thing I could say about the new trilogy, they have good visuals.
The Last Jedi has stunning cinematography. That shot of Leia, where she's got the like part of her cloak just barely below her eyes, and she's looking out over Crate, is like one of the most BA shots in all of Star Wars. Actually, I love that. But alas,
the storytelling is not there. Okay.
Anaxagorean Heist is my
favorite Star Wars. It's after the first 6, and then the Disney trilogy.
Yeah. Yep. It's the original 6, then it's Anaxagorean Heist, and then all the like spin-off films come after that.
And do you have a favorite character in
Anaxagorean Heist?
I meant in Star Wars, but you can select yourself as the
Dread Pirate Lord Captain Anaxagoras is my favorite Star Wars character.
That's one of the hardest questions, honestly. It really is, and it'll change depending on the day. But it's either Han or Luke.
Yeah.
Okay, for me it would be Obi-Wan.
That is a wonderful choice. I will say, if you get into some more expanded stuff, not expanded universe, but just beyond the
well, okay, if you go outside of the films, it would be Revan 100 times.
Oh, great!
Like, Revan is my favorite Star Wars character, hands down, like no contest. But yeah. Okay,
then
so
I'd have to say Kyle Katarn then.
okay.
I have his lightsaber.
Kyle,
Right,
yeah, from the Jedi Outcast and Dark Forces and Jedi
Yeah,
Academy games.
except it's green. Did he have a green saber? Did he have blue?
In Dark Forces he did, but that hilt should have a blue blade. So
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
whatever.
Okay, so let's get into the film. So let's start with, and since both of you guys worked on the film, you can probably tell me that, but you probably have an anecdote or something funny that happened on set while you were working on this project. So what's your funny anecdote about this shoot?
I mean, Dawson leaving green trails everywhere is one thing. We had to keep painting his fingers. You know, I was very hot in his costume, so the more he sweats, the more green is like dripping down onto his face, which looks pretty sweet, but that was pretty fun.
So these aliens have green sweat. Okay, we're learning
Yeah.
more and more. And Dawson, do you have something else?
I'm trying to remember, because I often assume that everything I do is embarrassing, so I kind of purge all my memories and repress them of everything. So actually, I don't reminisce about film shoots a lot, and too many of them have been like deeply emotionally damaging. But Anaxagorean Heist was as if I recall, it was a joy all the way through. I mean, ferrying all the random props and set stuff that we stole from our college, and not stole, we had permission, but
Yeah.
driving in my truck down into Alec's basement or Alec's dad's basement, and it's like somehow we're gonna turn.
Okay, well,
We're gonna turn.
let me
Bruce's
show
basement
this.
into a cantina.
So this is one of the sophisticated pistols that they were using
They
for.
look-
Isn't
Yeah,
that it? So
Oh,
Yeah,
You know,
this is the pre-spray painted. I included some of these. These are
okay,
Dawson's drop.
so
I drew those.
so you're telling me you had enough budget to hire a professional concept artist for this film. So that's what I understand here, right?
Luckily, I had a friend who was willing to volunteer, i.e. Dawson Ehlke.
Did I draw that?
And
I don't remember.
an incredible crew, too. Actually, I see Jeff Lloyd is in the chat right now. He was my DP. He was, and my entire crew, they were instrumental to the success of this, because as I was acting in it, too, I couldn't, I needed someone I could trust behind the camera to tell me how the shot looked. Obviously, I could watch it afterwards, but just having his eyes and ears on it was immensely helpful. And my entire crew, again, you know, everyone was volunteer. We paid in gas money, essentially, which was incredibly kind and generous. So I couldn't have done it without them. My mom taking pictures and helping around on set as well. My dad acting in it and helping. It was really a team effort.
The set of the ship itself is quite impressive, though. Looking at this and looking at how good it was in the film, this I think is very well executed.
Yeah, well, the funny story about this is that it actually belonged to a buddy of both Dawson and I's. He was looking to film in it for his own film that he submitted to the Star Wars Fan Awards a couple years before mine, and they were actually looking to get rid of it. And so he purchased it, and I think it was like a gigantic trailer that they hooked it onto and pulled this thing into a barn.
That's an anecdote. Me and Dan and a couple other guys drove like 2 hours away to this barn where these people were going to make an Alien film, and then scrapped it and sold this thing to us for an amount. And pushing this giant cockpit on wheels up onto the flatbed of a trailer. I mean, it took many guys, many hours, and many beers to get this thing. And then we were driving hauling. This thing was sitting on this trailer. We're like, I mean, everything could fall apart. It could fall over, it could crash, like just nothing. And yes, to this day, I think it sits in a barn, another barn. We took it out of a barn and put it in his family's barn, and that was an adventure. But it was like because we filmed it.
So you guys did not build the spaceship?
No, we purchased it from other people who did.
How expensive was it?
I think that's for Dan to share. I don't know.
Confidential.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry guys, we cannot share confidential information here. This is a public space, and we need to be respectful of everyone that's involved in this project. So
if we get Dan on here sometime, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm seeing stuff in the comments. Hi, Caitlin. And then I see Abby, and that's a great story as well, actually. So, Abby Day plays the female lead.
Tell us what you're doing.
Well,
She was. Oh, we'll watch this first.
As jank as humanly possible, constructed a stencil of a hut skull.
So we can see Dawson and his art skill at work.
It'll work.
Did it work, Dawson?
Right. Dawson, tell us what you're doing.
Well,
that was a pretty genius idea, though. That Captain Anaxagoras in the lore, he's got a vendetta against the Hutts. So his banner is a Hutt skull with like an axe embedded in it. I don't know if that came across in the final product.
Well, right now I have difficulty seeing it, but now that you say it, yeah, okay. I see the axe now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have noticed if because I watched it a few times now.
Well, I didn't know how to stencil, and that's something that a kindergartner knows how to do. So.
No, but the funny thing I was going to say super quick was Abby, who was also, I gave both Dawson and Abby producer credit on it because they were also incredibly gracious with their time. Abby's the female lead in this. She worked tremendously difficult for this, but one of our favorite things to shoot was there's a scene where we're running through the woods and the camera's following us as we're going. We had a steady cam and we had practiced it a couple times, but there's a lot of roots and brambles and other things that are sticking up from the ground, and we weren't sure that we could run very quickly at all and still have the camera be steady and have our cameraman be safe. So we ended up actually just pulling up a car onto the path, and then Jeff, our DP, just sat holding with the steady cam in the back and opened up the trunk, and then we just drove and just sprinted. It was super fun. Started raining, and a little detail that blew me away in the editing was that right when I cut, we're like running into the woods and we're about to go into the spaceship. Through a complete fluke, whoever was driving at the time started to brake a little bit, so there's a little tint of red light, and right when we enter the ship, there's red lights flaring in the ship, so it looked like this intentional, we opened up the hatch, but it was just someone hit the brake a little too early, but it was perfect.
Yeah, Abby was great. Just working as a trio on the film with Alec and Abby, making everything, and yes, the camera crew bringing that, Noah and Caleb, right? And
yeah, there were a lot of people on Stallion as well. So we had a really, really solid crew.
Your dad was in a helmet. I loved all the cantina.
How many people were on set when you filmed?
I think the most we had was the Pirate Den. I think there were 14 or 15. So really quite small. Our crew was about 5 people.
It's not depending. For some people it might not be that small.
Yeah.
There was someone holding a camera, someone doing sound, and then someone doing something else. Slating, probably. I can't remember.
Yeah, well, a grip, having
slating is a very, very difficult job. So
yeah, there's Jeff is answering right now. Crew of 4 or 5. I think, we only had 2 shooting days actually. We had 3 different locations. For our second day, we just did the spaceship and the woods in the same day. And I think we lost someone on that day. So there maybe only were 4 people. But
they perished.
We lost.
Body in the ditch.
We lost them in the woods.
Yeah.
And what was the overall budget for the Anaxagorean heist?
You know, I never fully totaled it, but I think it was maybe 200, 250. I mean, it was like really, really on a shoestring because we had the locations completely for free. We rented a lot of set pieces for a very low amount.
Including
from
the
our
gas
school.
money?
Yes, actually. So the gas money, since we had the 2 shooting days, that's actually where I think the majority of the, maybe 300, 350, but that's where most of the money went, was probably gas. And then me heading to Axeman, which is a wonderful store that has just so many incredible things. And that's how I was able to design a lot of these props. I mean, like this came just from gluing different Axeman things together.
My red bracers were like rubber in a car on the floor of the seat, whatever you call them, mats. There were car floor mats that were red that cost $1, and you know I turned them into bracers for whatever reason. And I think I still worked at Hobby Lobby at the time. So is that where we got the red banners? Like I just bought a bolt of red banner fabric with an employee Hobby Lobby discount, and you know just the random things here and there that we needed. You know, sometimes I'd buy a thing. Abby probably bought a few things, and then you bought a lot.
She did, yeah.
And we just, because I don't know, our hearts were in it, and it paid off. It paid off thrillingly well. I love just seeing the game table come together. Like we found this old, you know, pirate table from wherever that was rotting and falling apart, and just the joy that you had, like making it look played with and used, and you were quite taken with a particular little rubber insect with like a jetpack named Plow.
I have him. These are the Sabak cards we used from, I believe his name, I want to get his name right, Drew Campbell. Yes, Drew Campbell. He designed these, which is really rad.
He designed them. What do you mean? Did you just print them? Print his designs, or did he make them for you, or
he had these up for free just off of his website, and so I just asked his permission if I could use his artwork in the film, and I just went and printed it off at like a Kinko's or something by myself. The insect Dawson is referring to, I actually brought him with me. His name is Ploth. I had great fun designing all of the different creatures and aliens that were in the cantina. And I found this little motor, and I just found this thing sitting in a random bin at, again, Axeman, and thought, well, this is incredible. This is going to be a galaxy-renowned bounty hunter just playing Sabak with us.
See, now, and this is interesting. Like, we're making a Star Wars film, and if you can be so, like, you find this rubber insect, put a battery on it, and say, like, this is now an alien in Star Wars, and you just kept repeating his name, expressing your love for this creature you created, it's no wonder that on the sets of, like, the big budget Star Wars movies, these people just get enraptured with all these wacko aliens they're making, and they're like, look at this, like, isn't this great? Isn't this great? Isn't this, look at this cool, look at this festival happening in the middle of the desert that only happens once every 42 years and is run by, like, pig willy nose aliens. Yeah, that's probably where, like, for a lot of people making the Star Wars movies, that's all it is. It's just those cool, neat little things that look pretty. But you were as passionate about the story as you were for the paraphernalia. You wrote many different versions of the script. We had lots of different meetings. You had all kinds of ideas for who the characters were or weren't. Anaxagorean was going to be like a grandmother at one point, but we just couldn't find a grandmother, and you wanted to cast me, I think, so that changed.
That was one of Abby's ideas, which I thought was genius.
It's a genius idea. Grandmother bad pirate needs to happen.
Captain Anaxagorean was going to be a Quarren at one point too. If anyone's familiar with those aliens, they kind of have like the squid heads and like little Cthulhu tentacles coming off. So originally I was going to do that, but again, budget, you just kind of look at, what can you do, and then also does that limit the performance of the actor? And I know Dawson was very excited about getting to act with only his eyes, and I thought you did beautifully. It might be my favorite part of the whole film is those scenes and watching you work there. It's really incredible. So it paid off.
I just want to answer a few questions. So Emilio asks, is Sabak Star Wars poker? And Alec answered just under it. It is. Sabak is some kind of it's more like blackjack, I would say, than poker. Would you?
Can you
agree,
actually
guys?
play it?
Well, it
Like-
depends.
Yeah, it has rules. You
I'm
can
gonna sound
play.
real nerdy with this. Yeah, it is. It's similar to blackjack, but it's also Pazak is also kind of like that. Which Pazak is the card game in the Old Republic games. Sabak is a different thing. But you could call it space poker, space blackjack. It's how Han won the Falcon off of Lando.
So, and anyone fancy talking about favorite tunes? Favorite tunes of what? Of Star Wars? It's Duel of the Fates.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, I
Or-
think. Yeah, Imperial March is.
Yeah.
It's just not the same feeling. I mean-
The music during the Luke and Vader fight in Return of the Jedi
Yep.
is incredible. And then I've already mentioned this, but Victory Celebration with the Ewoks after
Yeah.
is just like the perfect ending to any good saga. It's amazing. And then also the little Easter egg that John Williams always does in the end credits on the third part of each of the trilogies. He did do it in Rise of Skywalker, which I was super excited about. There's a little recurring motif with the big drums that come in at the end during the end of the credits, and it only happens in the end of episode 3, episode 6, and episode 9. It was like the very last thing I was waiting for when I was in the theater watching Rise of Skywalker. I was like, please let it be there. And it was.
yeah, maybe an underrated Star Wars tune that I adore is the Rancor theme in Return of the Jedi. And during the battle of Hoth, there's some really weird, interesting music that
As well.
when there were some Star Wars game like Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, and in a couple of like Shadows of the Empire, there were like really weird, creepy levels with like creepy, deranged Sith, and like this music would like play over these battles with these like creepy, weird Sith. And I was like, where's this music from? It doesn't even sound like Star Wars music, but it's actually all Empire Strikes Back music that mostly comes from Hoth and the events around Hoth. So I really love that the music in the early half of Empire Strikes Back. Well, and the latter half too. I love it all. It's perfect. Everything about the music.
The music of Star Wars is pretty much all good. You can listen to almost any part of any soundtrack of Star Wars, and it's good.
Mm-hmm. And you'll like know it and remember it. I mean, if you grew up with it like we did, you hear even a couple notes across any of the films, and it's just it conjures a lot. They don't make them like that anymore.
So if you were to remake the Anaxagorean heist, what would you do differently?
Oof. I think we had longer versions of the script. I had a droid in one of them that I really would have loved to have gotten to make it in. His name was C41, I believe. He went through a couple different variations, but he was one of those little, I guess it's hard to explain. It's like the base is like a square, and then it's just this long, thin pole, and then he has like little binocular eyes.
Yeah.
Han's working on the Falcon, or one of them's right by. I love those guys. So I think I would have maybe just given a little bit more time. We did this like pretty quick. The turnaround, we were like, okay, there's a due date coming. Are we going to do this? And we said yes, and then we just hit the ground running. So maybe more time, expanded script.
That was the only thing that probably kept us motivated and going, was the fact that there was a deadline to enter the contest.
Yeah, I mean, it's shocking to me how many times I have free time and I am not using it well. And then when I'm the most busy, I'm thinking, oh, if only I desperately had free time to be doing all these creative things. Sometimes it's in the busyness that you end up actually doing it and doing the best work.
So that's one thing that I've always said to all of my teams and everyone I've worked with, basically, is you need to set yourself a deadline, even if there isn't really one. Because if you don't set yourself a deadline, you're never going to do anything. Recently, a lot of the people on the team have been asking me to slow down the pace of the YouTube releases, so that we can focus on producing better videos that are better edited and all of that. And I'm telling them that it won't make a difference, because they won't take the time to edit them unless I tell them that they have to do it until that day. And every time, no matter how, I've done the test of saying to a team, okay, you have 3 months to do a short film, and then I gave them 2 weeks to do another short film, and the result was similar. Because when you know you only have 2 weeks, you do as much as you can is in as much short time as possible. But when you know you have 3 months to do it, there were some weeks that I was talking to my team and they were saying, I haven't done anything this week. And you get to 1 or 2 weeks just before the shoot and go, guys, we need to finish this, and everyone does what they have to do. So it's always like that. If you don't have a deadline for something that you need to do, nobody does it. And that's what I was discussing with Dawson a bit earlier about Shadow of the Conqueror. Because I was talking about how disappointed I am about the fact that, like, how much the pace slowed down of the production team. Because the production team was working very hard and meeting every week and updating all the time with to produce more content. But since we pushed it back, we have 6 months to do it. So I don't have to focus on it as much. And you lose interest, you lose focus, you lose all of this energy and momentum that was built up.
It's human psychology.
Yeah, human psychology. And that's why I always keep myself busy. Some people say that I do too much, but actually, I don't. Right now, I don't even train. I don't go to the gym, and the reason why I say to my girlfriend is because I either go to the gym 6 to 7 times a week, or I just don't go. I never do anything in between. Because in between, I just can't do it. It takes too much of an effort to do in between. Going all the time takes no effort because you have to go. You go all the time. Wow. But going once or twice a week, you have to say, "Oh, man, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna have to change myself, go to the gym, and do exercise." And okay, I'll go tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you never go. So
convicting.
Yeah, staying busy is important, especially now, just with quarantine.
Yeah.
You seem as high in trait conscientiousness of an individual that I've ever met. I think I just unsentenced what I was trying to say, but you're a very conscientious, driven individual, and those are the kind of people who, make things like Apple happen, and all the movies that we love from our childhoods that were just
the only thing that slows me down, I would say, is the fact that it's just the fact that I can't do everything by myself.
Yeah.
And I think if you want to do anything great, anything awesome, you need to work with other people.
Yeah.
I don't think, Alec, you could do something that's your best work without working by yourself. By working just by yourself. Sorry, I messed up.
We were just working on another film with our friends because we wanted to keep ourselves busy. And actually, Abby, your girlfriend, who was the writer and producer of this other film, she says that a lot. How she wants to do everything herself, like so badly, and she's an extraordinarily creative individual and very driven, and has like a really good vision of everything she wants to accomplish. But then you do at some point you do realize, like, I can't do everything. I can't make the costumes, I can't arrange the locations, I can't hold the camera, I can't set up the lights, and all this stuff.
Takes a village. Yeah,
learning how to delegate is that's a skill in and of itself.
And I wouldn't say it's just to learn how to delegate. It's also, you have to learn how to convince people to put the effort into the project. That's also another thing to learn. And I just want to mention a few comments. So Arqua says, even Yoda said it, do or do not, there is no try. There's no in between. So when you do something, you go all the way or you don't.
What a wise guy, that Yoda.
I don't believe it. That is why you fail.
Yeah, if you don't go all the way, you fail. So you need to go all the way all the time. And I really think it's the lesson here. So
yeah.
There are a few comments saying that the film was awesome. The Anaxagorean Heist. So, hey guys.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
It's a fan film. Obviously, we all see and love and mock Star Wars fan films. Because a lot of them have the same strengths and weaknesses, and there's just only so much independent broke filmmakers can do. So just for people to appreciate the effort that we took with what we had. I don't want to speak for you, Alec, but yeah,
no, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, and just let's.
It is really, it's really yeah.
So here it is, the Anaxagorean Heist film.
I was just gonna say how trippy it is to sit and watch Star Wars fan films and mock them relentlessly, and then make your own and put it out there, and then realize, oh gosh, we're
not better.
The exact same. Well, we might be, but we're opening ourselves up to the exact same response, and that's just very fair.
Me and Francis have done a short film critique of Anaxagorean Heist. It's not edited yet because teamwork, like I was just saying. So the editor that was supposed to edit the video just told me yesterday that it wasn't edited and that he was stopping to do the editing for us. So now I have
your critique and your video with the other Star Wars fan film director was really great. Oh, that's Abby in that yellow costume, right?
It is. Asphelius Noop is the name of that character.
It's fun how, like, when you're doing a fan film or something like that, you give a name to all of the extras and all of the side characters that are never named, and that and we even did that for Shadow of the Conqueror at first. I gave a name to all of the thugs that are in the short film.
It makes them more. It makes them real.
Yeah, it makes them more real for the people playing them, but it was
Star Wars itself was the inspiration for that too.
Yeah.
I just. We go alone.
I recorded all those lines on this farm, in like the attic of this farm.
You did, that's right.
Everything myself. Fun time.
I really find it funny to see the computer cooler on your face, because I know that's a computer cooler.
Computer
we
cooler?
got that from Axeman too, hooked onto your gas mask.
I see the.
Oh. Yeah, we were pulling crap out of junk bins, and
it looks
it
like
looks awesome.
it looks like a filter. Let's use that. I see the car carpets now that you were talking about.
What do you say?
I'm wearing a Santa jacket under the black jacket too, right?
You are.
A scarf I got in Ukraine.
Why didn't you shoot him?
This was the running shot.
Yep. A nice trail in the woods.
Oh yeah, that's right. And if you pause it just right, the boom is in there fully, pretty big for such a quick shot. No one has ever noticed it. I've had to point it out, but it's very obvious when you see it.
Where
it comes in on the left side of frame. It covers me up. I think it's on one of Abby's lines, so it's distracting from the boom.
I didn't even see it. And
There you go. It's a blink and you miss it.
okay, it's like a one frame thing.
Mm-hmm.
How big is that thing?
I mean, it's like a 5x5, 6x5. Maybe.
Because you have
Square
quite a
that,
lot of
yeah.
depth.
Yeah, there's a second compartment on it.
It's not uncomfortable. It's about as big as the Millennium Falcon cockpit looks sometimes, just narrower slightly. It's so much fun to be in there.
Yeah.
When you run in and you're flicking all the dials like that is so. I'm gonna sound like Disney, but that's so Star Wars. Like it feels.
Well, it's about family.
You and Abby, your intense acting is really good in that scene. And then the dash.
Who says we're empty-handed? A lightsaber!
Yeah, that was our answer to how did Maz Kanata get Luke's saber? Well, Captain Anaxagorean got his hands on it and stole it, and then a couple of goons, Abby and myself, went and got that and brought it back for her.
I didn't understand that part, but that's cool.
It's canon now.
Yeah, it's well, they didn't
canon
demonstrate it in the movies, so I guess it is.
Another story for another time. That
Okay,
was like
so
your inspiration.
I was gonna ask you, Alec, how do you want to collaborate and do a short film maybe with us? And I have an idea. We could do how Captain Anaxagorean found the lightsaber. So
Yeah, build a Cloud
let's
City.
go. Let's go to Cloud City and Dawson. I hope you're ready.
Well, I'm ready, but can we just ask a question that I've never heard anyone have an actual serious discussion about, which is, how is Luke Skywalker's lightsaber recoverable? It falls into a gas giant, right? Bespin is more or less a gas giant, is my understanding.
Yeah. Let me look it up. Let's be serious about the question and look it up.
I mean, I think expanded universe, they did find it, and that's where I think
so
they
Bespin.
cloned from it.
Did it land on like a mining platform or something?
Bespin is a gas giant.
There are Tabana gas platforms all over it.
It has a 6 million population.
There's this awesome artwork I saw once of Luke's hand with the saber still clutching it inside of this like jar, and there's all these aliens like worshiping it, just like they had no idea what this thing was and they found it, and it's like in this place of honor.
Oh, I love that.
I wish I remember who the artist was, but it was...
Okay, what I'm gonna be guessing is that not all of the chutes that go down are just thrown out, or maybe some like when Luke slides in one of the chutes, it then has a hatch that opens, right?
Mhm.
So maybe the lightsaber cannot trigger it because it's not heavy enough.
So a maintenance guy.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't we see it? Like, because I thought he falls in it, and then I thought we saw something fall with him. Maybe that was just one of those things that as a kid I always went, "Oh, that's his hand," and then never second guessed it when I was an adult.
Don't think they would have shown that. That would have been a bit that would mean that because his hand goes down first, right?
Yeah.
So
you could have just grabbed it.
So basically, his hand falls, and he falls in the same chute that his hands has fallen in, and he falls next to his hand holding the lightsaber. That would be a bit creepy, no?
That would be a bit odd.
Not creepy, but a bit gory. Like the hand just there next to him. I don't know. Okay, so
in Robot Chick, elected by a maintenance fellow, mopping the shaft.
Oh, it is, isn't it? I've seen that Robot Chicken.
Yep.
Okay, so we have a few comments that say, "That's the spirit. It will be so good." I'm guessing the lightsaber was found by maintenance crew. So yeah, I'm guessing it was found by someone from maintenance, and Captain Anaxagorean just won it, I guess, or stole it.
The maintenance guy with the lights just held on to the lightsaber and then joined a pirate crew, and then I killed the maintenance guy, and maybe Anaxagorean was the maintenance worker.
And he used that. Okay, I found it. Captain Anaxagorean then bet the lightsaber on a Pazak game to win more money, and that made him rich because he was, I don't know, cheating at cards, and that made him a lot of money because he was always betting the lightsaber.
Yeah, I have this ancient Jedi relic, and he doesn't need it, but it's worth a lot. So and rather than just sell it for a one time, why not use it as a chip to get more? That's
like Han and did to win the Millennium Falcon.
I like it. What do you think, Alec?
That's probably it. It's like we half answered the question. We're like, well, he found it, and then that we gave it to Maz. But actually, I have it right here.
Maybe since
the
Star Wars,
lightsaber.
since Star Wars
Yeah.
is Disney property now, I think Pixar needs to do a short before a film that's the journey of Luke's lightsaber, and it's just the camera on the lightsaber as it falls, and the camera like never goes away from the lightsaber. It's always just focused on the lightsaber, but then you see everything that happens to it and who picks it up all the way until the decanonized moment when Maz Kanata finds it, because
Okay, so let me just see if there's any other questions that we didn't answer, and I think that will be it. It's been already an hour. I can't believe it. It's so entertaining and fun to discuss about this. But so what's the biggest challenge you got on this shoot?
I think it was probably, I mentioned this before, but just time. Because I think we all had, myself in particular, had a lot of things happening right at this time. I was pretty busy. So to have I don't know, it would have been very easy, and there were a lot of convenient excuses to be able to just say, oh, well, we'll just do it next year, which there hasn't been one since, so I'm very glad I did it. But for whatever reason, it's just that time where many other times I've just used those excuses or not made something. This time, for whatever reason, I was just like, no, we're gonna do this. So that, just overcoming that hurdle of the ticking clock was probably the most challenging.
Yeah, I think it's always like we were saying earlier, a thing about time, and are you gonna go for it and do it now, or are you gonna wait and say, oh, let's do it next year?
Mm-hmm.
Because and I'm sorry for those who just want to talk about Anaxagorean. I have to mention Shadow of the Conqueror sometimes, and we had that discussion with Chad that was saying, why don't you just wait for next year before you do the Kickstarter? You're probably gonna have more things to show to the audience, so, and people are gonna have more money in their pockets, so you're probably gonna get more money and a better Kickstarter. And I said, no, I don't want to wait. Let's do it right now, and let's make it work. So I did everything I could, but I can't bring Dawson here legally right now.
Yeah, that's right.
sorry everyone for holding it up.
Well, it's not just you, it's also Shad and also Lloyd and also the team of Adoria. So we can't blame it on you, and it gives us more time to work on the script. Actually, you don't know this, Dawson, but we're making a new version of the script
Oh, good.
that is longer,
Okay.
has more scenes and more characters.
Okay.
We don't know if it'll get approved, but we're making it.
This is exciting news. I mean, if we have the time, we might as well use it. And I trust you guys are, you'll use it well.
Yeah, and we're trying to make it so that to please the fans as much as possible.
Worth it.
Worth it. So yeah, and Alec, so if we invited Dawson to playtest War for Diratia tomorrow, but if you're available, you can join us as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. I most likely am, depending on time.
So yeah, we'll see what time we do that, and it could be a really fun like party of everyone trying it out and discussing the system as well. So thanks guys for being here. Thanks for everyone who listened in. It was super interesting, and we love doing this. We were, from all of the shows that we created since the start of the Kickstarter. Filmmaking with is really the thing that we love to do because we get to meet new people and talk about filmmaking. So how better can you get? So thanks a lot, and for everyone, have a great day. Thanks for being here. If you want to learn more about the other projects that we're working on, so we have the re-edit of Attack on Titan that we did, that is available on our Patreon for free. You don't have to pay on our Patreon to get the Attack on Titan re-edit. And there is also the War for Diratia rule set. If you're interested in taking a look at it, it's also free on our Patreon. So you can just click on that and watch what we have been working on. Thanks a lot for being here, and have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye.